Mesachas Nozid af Nun Hey. The Gemara brings Machlokes Tanoim and Nichnas Eretz Amim Meshida Tevo Migdol. Rabbi Yosef bar Yehuda is Metaher and Rebbe is Metama. And the Gemara says it's only Machlokes if Eretz Amim they were goyim Misham Avir Misham Gushon, and the Gemara says it's totally if oil zorik shmei oil or oil zorik loy shmei oil. Ein Chaim and stencils that discusses Barichis, a Steven Rambam, the Gabi the Halacha of oil zorik shmei oil. The Rambam in our Sugya in Hilchos Tumei Meis says Hanichnas L'Eretz Ha'amim Meshida Tevo Migdol. He's Tomei because oil zorik einei kori oil. And the Achronim asked that's very schwer from that the Rambam paskins in Hilchos Nezirus. Someone that was nichnas the base of chorus in the Shida Tevo Migdol. Ubochaveri Pora Hamazivo, he's Tomei, and only when Bochaveri Pora Hamaziva is Tomei. And even before his Chaveru is Pora Hamaziva should be Tomei, because since the Rambam paskins oil zorik lav shmei oil, so even before his friend opened up the Mazivo, he should be Tomei. So Chaim is Meirich and this Kasha, and he discusses that you have to understand further what's the understanding. And that you're Tomei because oil zorik lav shmei oil, even if oil zorik lav shmei oil, typically since the Shida Teva Migdol is closed, it should be Tahor because of the halacha of Mukif Tzomah, the posel is mitar, and that the Chaim says that it could be since it wasn't sealed, betitz, therefore it doesn't have halacha of Mukif Tzomah, the posel. However, he asked that Trevor, the Rambam is not mashma like that. And Chaim is ma'irich to prove that a kli that it was made into oil, since it has a din of oil, is not a kli that's roy for kabbalas tumo, and therefore it's choitzis of ne'atumo. And he explains that the beer at Dvorim is because for a kli to be Mikabel Tumo, there's two different halachas. You need a shem kli, and also you need a kli that's miyuchid v'tashmish, for miyuchid to be used, and you need both of these components for a kli to be royal to Mikabel Tumo. So over here, since this kli has a din of a oil, it loses its shem kli, and therefore it can Mikabel Tumo, and therefore it can be choitzis v'nei tumo, even if it's not nem. So the fact that it has a shem of a oil, that itself is mafkir the din kli, and therefore it's choitzis of ne'atumah. And according to this, Chaim says you could answer the Rambam that Be'emes is involved in the Rambam that the halacha is when you have a kli that's bigger than mem saw, that's not makabel tumo. He says lav dafka totally a mem saw, rather than the kuda is since it's mem saw, it's not chozi for tashmish, people are not using it. However, if you have a kli that's big, even if it's bigger than mem saw, people use it, and it's a kli tashmish, then it's makabel tumo. So according to this, Reb Chaim says the Kmiyashiv the Rambam, because the Rambam in Hilchos Tumas Meis that says the oil zorik lav shmei oil, and therefore it's not choitzis of ne'atumah. The Rambam explains that's referring to a kli that people are pirich with it and people use it. So since it's a kli tashmish, even if it's more than memsor, has a din kli for kapolas tumah, and therefore it's not choitzis of ne'atumah. And only if you hold oil zorik shmei oil, the fact that it's an oil, will be choitzitz of ne'atumah, but since we paskin oil zorik love shmei oil, therefore it doesn't have a din of oil, and it's not choitzitz of ne'atumah. However, the Rambam in Hilchos Nezirus doesn't say that it's miyuchid for shtamshus b'chlal, so therefore, since it's a large kli, and even though it doesn't have a halacha of a oil, because oil zorik lav shmei oil, nevertheless, since it's a large kli, therefore it's not mekabel tumah, and it's choitzitz of ne'atumah v'ayin shamoy. Moving further on, Rav Chisda says that's mavur in the Mishnah, that by Mitzorah, it's not Soiser, the Meitumo, and you maschil umoyne miyad, when you finish the Meitzaras, that's specifically by a Nazirus mu'etes. However, a Nazirus muruba, mislik nami solik, the Meitzaras is oilo for the main Nazirus. Tosis says the understanding of Chisda is that Naziris Mu'etes, since you need Shloishim Yom for Gidul Sar, and you don't have Shloishim Yom for Gidul Sar because of the Tzaras, therefore it's not Oilam. Ein Beskurov, in stencils that ask, that's very hard to understand this halacha because it's mavur that according to Chisda by Nazirus mu'etes. It's not soise b'chlal, and the whole chesaron is because you need shloishim yom of gidul sar. So if that's the case, what's the chiddush in the Mishnah? The yimei hesgera is oiloi, even yimei chaluto is not soise b'chlal, and the whole halacha is you're missing a halacha of gidul sar. And the Biskrova is further, the more and Daf Nunvav learns out for Kavachoyim and compares the halacha of tumo to the halacha of Yimei Chilutoi, and according to Rav Chisda, the whole halacha Yimei Chilutoi is a halacha on Gidul Sar, and it's not a din tumo that says the Nazirus Bechlal. So Biskrov says the answer to this kasha is that's Mavor and Toises, that according to Rav Chisda, by Nazirus Mu'etes, you need Shloishim Yom for Gidul Sar is not a zaitige halacha that you need a Gidul Sar, adds halacha and the Ikke Nazirus, the same way there's halacha that you need Nazirus for Shloishim Yom, ein Nazirus Pachas Mishloishim Yom. So, who adin you need for the actual Nazirus Gidul Sar, and without Gidul Sar, you're missing an chefza of the Nazirus. And the Bishkov says that's good for the chilik between Nazirus Meruba and Nazirus Muetes, because by Nazirus Meruba, since you have other days of Nazirus with Gidul Sar, so therefore even the Meitzaras, that you don't have Gidul Sar, could still zichzu to the Ikke Nazirus. However, by Nazirus Mu'etes, since you don't have Shloishim Yom of Gidul Sar, you're missing the chefza of Nazirus. And according to Yisrael, the Biskrov says a tremendous chiddush, which is Medaik and Mefarish and Aleph, that in a situation that you're ready Megadol Sar for Shloishim Yom, and afterwards he became a tzaras, it doesn't stir b'chlal, since you already had Gidul Sar of Shloishim Yom, and only when in the first 30 days of the Nazirus, he became a Metzora, and you're missing in the Gidul Sar. So the only B'chai Gavna Tzechasorin V'ayin Sham. Moving further on, I say from the Sivas HaKodesh, they asked an interesting kasha. He says, what's the beer in that Rav Chisda says? That by Nazirus Meruba, Mislik Nami Solik, and it's even though he's a Metzora, it's the kiyum of his Din Nazirus, and the Maran Maskon that involve holds not like that, and it's not Solik for his main Nazirus. And the Sivas HaKodesh asks that Tzorchi in the beer of the Suffolk, what's the Nakuda of the Suffolk of the Gemara, if the fact that he's a Metzora stirs his Nazirus? And the Sivas HaKodesh says the Chayetz Tali in the Suffolk in the Gemara in Hoyvis Daf Yud Beis, if you have a Kohen Gadol, it became a Metzora if the fact that he has Tumas Tzoras stirs his Kedushas Kohen Gadol. And the Gemara's Mavur that definitely stirs the Kedushas Kohen Gadol, that the Tzaras is a stira to, when the Gemara has a Machlokes, if at the time he's a Metzora, he's mutter to marry an Almana, or he still has Kedushas Kohen Gadol, the Gabi that he's also to Almana. And the Mesivas HaKodesh says that the Chor, it's the same suffix. Do you say that since there's a Tumah, that was a stira to his Kedushas Kohen Gadol's mafkir, the entire Kedushas Kohen Gadol, and who would then over here? The question is, if in fact you have Tzoras, which is a stira to the Kedushas Nazirus, is mafkir the Kedushas Nazirus. However, the Nesivos HaKodesh asked that Shver, the Rambam, the Shitosei, the Rambam Paskins and Hilchas Nazirus, that the Yimei Tzoras is mafkir the Kedushas Nazirus entirely. However, the Rambam Paskins that a Kohen Gadol that became Metzora is also to marry Almana, and so you see that in regard to Kohen Gadol, the Rambam holds that Tzoras Namafki the Kedushas Kohen Gadol. So the Nesivos HaKodesh says the answer is that's Mavu and the Sugi and Hoyi is that the Kohen Gadol became with Tzora is also to marry Almana is because he's not better than a Kohen Gadol became Balmum. However, the Gabi Nazirus, it's Mavu and the Rambam that a Nozir that's a Metzora loses his Kedusha Cyrus. And the reason why, according to the Rambam, you say Esedech is because a Nozir that's Metzora loses his Kedusha Cyrus. So it's Asi Hativ that's Cholik. A Nozir that loses the Kedusha once he becomes a Metzora. However, a Kohen Gadol is like lower than a Kohen Gadol that becomes a Balmum. It's important to point out that there's a makom to be done that the Chayetz Tali, this Shaila and the B'chaim that I mentioned this year, In Yuma Daf Yud Gimel, the Reb Chaim is mechiach that there's two separate halachas. In the Kedushas Kohen Gadol, there's a Kedushas Kohen Gadol that's chal with Mashiach, and another Kedushas Kohen Gadol that's chal with the Minoi. And Reb Chaim says that the Kedushas Kohen Gadol that's chal with Mashiach, it can't be poka, and specifically with Minoi, since it was chal, and the fact that you managed this Kohen Gadol for his position, the same way you mekadesh bepeh, you can masalik. So it could be that Kohen Gadol is different since it has a second halacha. That's chal with Mashiach, that's not poka, and that asks him to marry an almana, and dafka by Nazirus, to masalik, the kedusha Nazirus betumah, and it goes off entirely with tzorchi and oid bezeh.